Good timing, oh yes, great timing. You lucky devil, this is worth 18 submarines. Come on, mama, let the good times roll.
But yeah, you guys are in Night City. Night City is a large city off the coast of California. It's been pretty huge in the cyberpunk world. The basic way that the cyberpunk world has panned out is in the 60s there were is where, like, if I could think for a second, the world of cyberpunk was the same as ours up until about the 60s or 70s. At that point, there were some wars in South America that got started. Large-scale wars. It basically turned into a world war that was mostly in South America. And during that time was when cybernetics were invented, and then they started to highly be utilized in these combat zones. Okay. Since then, there have been 4 corporate wars where basically after the South American conflict, corporations basically took over everything. Corporations got so big and had so much control and such private, so much
capitalism.
Yes, because they were the ones like funding most of like the private militaries and everything that were going down there and the cybernetics. So by the time those conflicts ended, the corporations had so much more power that most like municipal governments couldn't do anything about them. And then, of course, when they have that much power, occasionally there are clashes. They're constantly there's constant espionage. There's been a lot of things that have happened. The last major corporate war was not too long ago. They had the 4th corporate war. During the 4th corporate war, the internet was destroyed by a hacker. Mm-hmm. So the internet used to be this tightly woven, like interconnected thing, kind of like we have today. Mm-hmm. So a major hacker, as far as you guys are aware, released some sort of mega virus that basically made the net so dangerous of a place, because these viruses will just kill you if they get involved in anything that you're connected to, that basically all corporations, all countries basically just severed internet lines or shut them off completely. People are starting to rebuild networks, but they're very tightly knit, little self-contained or very local things. The city itself, Night City's had a bit of a rough time. There was a slight nuke incident couple years back, or like 12 years ago, I think, or something close to sometime in the recent past. It's pretty recent. A nuke went off in Arasaka, one of the corporation's towers.
How fortified are those towers that it went off inside? Well,
he dropped it to the very sub levels.
Deep underground. Gotcha.
But yeah, there was a nuke incident. There's now an area of the city that is still a pretty big crater. The city itself had to be fully evacuated. It's been rebuilding over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. That's where your guys' apartment amenities kind of come from. Those stacked cargo. You guys live in those stacked cargo container sort of apartment buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Those have been very normal now because, well, the old apartments either were dilapidated or got blown up or got so ruined from not being able to be used anymore that they had to tear them down. And these days, you guys are just trying to pay the rent each month. Yeah.
It's monthly, right?
Yeah, it's monthly.
Yep.
You guys are just trying to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm. How evil would that be?
Considering the description of the apartments, I don't think it would be very hard to move somebody in and out.
To be honest, because they'd be like, he could die any day. So, Night City.
You boys are already a nice little, like, you've done the occasional job together, or maybe you guys know each other pretty well. So how well do you guys figure that you actually know each other? Is it just a sort of purely professional basis of needed a driver, found this guy? Do you guys hang out? How does that work out?
Well, I like to think my guy's pretty cool. But he's also pretty busy with his nomad family, I'm sure. So, like, he can't be... I mean, sometimes, you know... I don't know.
He's the friendly, or just the well-known coworker sort of a thing.
Right, like, and you guys probably aren't the only people I've driven around.
Oh, I'm sure not.
Yeah.
I kind of figure. I mean, obviously, I said we've done jobs together.
But we don't exactly live in the same box either, right?
No, I don't think so. Alex is one of the ones, like, she's reserved against most people. She does enjoy the friendship of it, but her most impression of people is that they are pieces of shit, and they kind of need to. It's if they've proven themselves that they aren't as bad as everyone that she just assumes that they are.
This is starting to sound like a working relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, so very much a working relationship from her point, at least. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys work together, but you work together often enough that you know when one of you gets a call for a job that they kind of let the others know. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The first person I look to when I'm thinking, oh, man, I need something hacked. Like, you're on the top of my list, probably.
Right.
And the first person that I look for when I would need to get sewn up, he's not calling right now, so I guess I'm going to call this guy over here.
But every time I've ever shown up bleeding on his doorstep, he's sewn me up. Except that one time. Just...
As long as you're willing to pay me, I'll do whatever the fuck you want. But as soon as you're fixed up, you can fuck off.
I was like, how about an IOU?
He's like, yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and do that. No problem. And then when you wake up later,
It just gets the staple gun.
There's a reason why everybody in Night City wants insurance.
No, you wake up, you're fine, and then like 2 weeks later, you realize, like, wait a minute, am I missing a kidney?
Missing some stuff.
I feel like I had more of a spleen than this.
It's like, wow, why am I? It's like, oh man, that doc fixed me up, and I'm 5 pounds lighter.
My audio implant's missing. Yeah.
Yeah, what happened with that? I don't know. I think it was broken when you had it. It was broken when I got in there.
I didn't see anything in there. I fixed what you told me to fix, and I left the rest alone.
Look, you said fix me up. You didn't say nothing else.
Yeah. Jack is definitely along the lines of I will deal with people when I need to deal with people, but otherwise you can fuck right off.
Okay.
He chose to become a doctor kind of deal. Like, I want to help people. Fuck people.
That, or maybe he just wanted to do a lot of lab work and be left the fuck alone.
Oh, yeah, that's what he was. He's like, I mainly stay in my box and make drugs.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't Breaking Bad up in your bitch.
Occasionally, do some amateur ripper doc work. If someone brings me an implant, I pretty sure he could. It's not too
figure
hard
it out.
for him. It's like he could watch a YouTube video on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys do get one of you gets a call from a fixer that you've done some work with him before. His name's Mickey.
Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine.
Jesus.
Now, Mickey has a proposed job for you guys. And Mickey, you've known in the past, he's a bit eccentric from time to time. He gets very carried away with things, but when he has a job, he at least pays.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's worked out for you guys, usually in the past. And he calls you guys, and he sets up a meet at a local sporting event that's taking place. And he sends you guys, he already says that he's already got you guys on a list, so you'll be able to get in. The sporting event that he has you guys going to is a wrestling match.
Are the seats general seating, or do we have private booths?
He just said that there will be tickets waiting for you.
Okay. Just present our names then,
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
It
Okay.
was just general admission just to get in the building.
You guys are at least aware of, well, I guess it depends on what you guys' interests are.
Alex would not have too much attention to the way of sports since she grew up in a war zone. A lot of her shit was mostly fighting to survive.
Well, yes, but you guys have all been living in Night City for a hot minute.
For a hot minute, I mean, there's probably been stuff that she's heard about, but I wouldn't say too much on her part.
It's you at least know of it because it's the Night City Wrestling Federation, which is the equivalent of like the WWE and like.
Well, then, as a pugilist myself, I'm a fan.
And so
Of course, Nux is.
So he invites you to one of the Night City Wrestling Federation or WWE wrestling nights. The way that these wrestling nights work is, Dusty, as a fan, you're more than aware that they do several types of broadcasts of these fights. You've got the live fights where you can go and actually watch at the ring. They also televise and record all the fights and release them through data discs and various methods. But also, the interesting thing that's made this particular wrestling federation bloom and become one of the most dominant ones out of all of them is that all the wrestlers are also equipped with brain dance recorders. Brain dances are literally just experiencing VR with with the senses of the person that was being recorded.
Gotcha.
So all the rest,
It's like you're there.
yeah, which has really led into the popularity of this because a lot of the other wrestling federations followed ours, where people would see it and go, "Oh, that's so fake," because they'd see like camera angles where the slaps didn't look great, or people seemed like you knew people were holding back, and that just wasn't good enough for a lot of people. So then a lot of wrestling federations started getting more and more physical. Less slaps, more real punches, more getting knocked around. And this wrestling federation is very popular because of their brain dances. At which point, if you've experienced one of these brain dances or purchased one of these brain dances, there is no sense of hesitation in any of these fighters.
So it's more of a fight club.
It's a fight club with style.
Mm.
People are still pulling suplexes. They're still pulling people's elbows and like doing weird backflips.
It's like a crazy MMA match.
It's an MMA match where they know that they're also catering to the crowd for style points.
Gotcha. Putting on a show.
Yes. Because, I mean, there are guys in there who really do know how to fight, and they've got a lot of cybernetics, but they don't seem to really do as well, and they definitely don't get promoted as highly, and maybe they don't see as many matches as the guy who not only can hold his own, but can pull a full elbow with the tap on it, and then just slam onto a guy.
The
Someone who
special
can
move.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Someone
have
who
to,
can play to the crowd.
Watch one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if I could have afforded one of those. What do they go for?
It depends on the wrestler that you want to be that night.
Because is the brain dancing like live streamed feed?
No. So the brain dances are released the night after.
Okay, gotcha. They do the fight, record it, and then they sell it afterwards.
Yes.
I gotcha.
It is also a thing to note that sometimes there have been the occasional deaths in the ring. They let a lot of things fly because, as soon as that ref turns his back, if somebody pulls out a pistol, that's on them.
Dude, a death brain dance will get you fucking high. People use it to get high because when you feel the death, your brain goes fucking nuts.
Wow.
But yeah, Dusty, if you're a fan, you've probably gotten a hold of at least one or two of the brain dance recordings.
I know these things are real. They're in there fighting each other.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous, but I don't want to mess up my perfect face.
Because you don't like, yeah, it's the thing that makes them like their brain dances the most popular. Is it's one thing to watch a guy punch, like watch two guys go at it in the ring, but when you feel the guy and you feel his arm going as hard as it can, it really amps it up. And it's a very expensive endeavor, and they've built up on like they started with underground brain dance recordings getting like released, and then they've built up into they're now the premium wrestling federation in the city. What's Night City Wrestling Federation.
NCWF.
Yeah. Which I'm just going to keep calling the WWE because that rolls off the mouth a lot easier for me because of my childhood.
Your childhood was WWF.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't play.